I'll kill that audio up top. Let me know when you get to 3.
Okay.
And then we'll just double check what that audio sounds like when we're going.
Okay. Yeah, slide, we're at 4 minutes.
I got chapped lips like a motherfucker. This is gonna suck.
What? Got the permits?
Nah, I got some Burt's. Ooh, I might have Burt's Bees in my bag. Oh, you know why I don't have Burt's Bees? Because I have kids. Daughter will sniff that out and steal it.
Yeah.
No Burt's Bees. Just stinging ass lips all show
I
long.
saw the new cutter you got, the 3-way cutter.
It's nice.
Yeah.
What's our timer like?
We are at
I'm gonna run to the gas station quick. I'll be back.
3:30. You're good.
All right, take a pass.
Yeah, I can feel that tequila now. It's coming on in.
What are we at?
We are at 2:20 and Larry Adams is in. What's up, Larry?
Okay. So if you want to hop to ours, I'm going to go live on ours. You killed audio in here. Beautiful.
did.
We are live on ours. Studio mode. Check, check. Studio mode. Check. Okay, you got a little buzz. Is it purifier? Give us a little check, check, will you? Check, check, check. Here we are. We're watching bum fights on Instagram. You got bum fights going on up
That's
there?
awesome.
All right, we're live over here as far as I know.
Awesome.
Okay, so if we got a buzz, I'm gonna bring it down. Don't sweat. We're gonna work with this. All of us, we're gonna work together. We got a buzz still? You got it? What's up, Memphis?
What's up, what's up? How y'all doing tonight?
All right. Stick with us, folks. We're gonna be all right.
Stick
We're
with
gonna
us.
get
We're
this.
gonna do a
What's
little-
up?
What's going on?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
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 Bam.
Memphis, welcome.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everybody. We're gonna get this figured on out here. Let's see if that changed it.
They're saying it's a little bit of buzz.
Little bit.
Sounds good.
That's Rodney. I don't know if
Okay.
he's,
Now,
I don't know if he's
Rodney's
buzzed
buzzed.
or- yeah.
We're about to be. So what's up, everybody? Hey, it's Tuesday night,
Cigar Talk Live.
and we've got Memphis in the building.
Good evening.
Memphis.
Good evening. How y'all doing? We here representing.
There you go.
Let's go, Grizz. We
there-
don't grind, we don't shine.
As you can tell, this is going to be one of the best shows we've ever done.
Yeah, we're 100% sure of that. And we would be remiss in starting tonight's show without wishing our own Adrian a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Many
you.
more to come.
What?
You got a bunch of tequila here to finish
Yeah.
up.
What? I didn't.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm trying to keep it low key. The
Oh,
thing is,
my-
spreading the word and, you know.
Do we need to put on Las Manitas?
No.
Yes. Oh my God! I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What cigar did you give him because you knew it was his birthday?
I gave him a Connecticut KBF Gold.
You didn't know it was his birthday. You would have given
I
him a
did
better
too.
one than that.
You want me to go get him something better?
Better
No, this is
one.
good. This is good.
All right.
Damn it. What's up, everybody?
It's my
Nikki
favorite
is
cigar.
in.
Right now.
That's it. Yeah.
Nikki
The
is
label's
saying
all
hi to
gone.
Memphis, saying happy birthday.
Yeah, how about a little
Evan
thumbs
Hurst
up?
is in.
All right. I think this is going to be a pretty damn good show. I'm gonna be
Adrian,
honest.
Cigars and Guns. Brandon, Industrial Cigars. Pops, Industrial Cigars. Memphis, from another planet called Memphis.
Memphis.
Memphis, M-Town, we represent tonight.
Oh.
That's it.
Shouts out to 8-Ball and MJG, baby.
That's
Shouts
it.
out to all of you.
So here, this will be a true test of Facebook's technology because it's subtitling this, and it will have no clue what my boy Memphis is saying.
Memphis, let's kick it off here. Let's kick it off.
Let's
right.
kick it.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
How long you been coming up to ICC?
For 2.5 years. I've been here living here 3 going on 4. So when y'all first opened up, I think I came like 2 months after the grand opening. All right. So I came up, got to meet Pops, meet you, your brothers, and came in. It was a good vibe. I filled the place. I'm like, hey, this is a spot for me. So of course one day, you know, I stepped to you and Pops like I want to be a member, and I'm like, I'll take in the locker. And you was like, hey, I got one right here for you. Been a member ever since. Got my locker. Hey, I'm
He got
still
some
here.
prime real estate too.
I know
Yeah.
you got seriously good real. You
Yeah.
could probably sell that to somebody right now and
Probably
have
can.
them underwrite your membership.
Probably can.
I will say this. Reg Frazier is in the house. He says M-Town 10 toes. I'm sure you know what that means.
That means we 10 toes down here tonight. We represent. Appreciate that, Red.
Yeah, so Reg is actually the only one in the audience that will understand what he's saying.
Well, if we can, forgive me all the way through this, is I'm gonna be looking for a lot of references here.
Okay.
What do you mean, 10 toes down?
10 toes down. I mean, we standing on it right now. We own it. We own it. We standing on top of it. 10 toes down. We are representing tonight.
Even though we're
7%.
sitting, does that make a difference if we're sitting or do we have to stand?
No, you all right.
We're good? Okay.
Say, man.
But 10 toes.
Say, man.
Say, mate.
I like that.
Everybody have 10 toes unless you got a web toe and you got 11 toes.
So we got 40 toes down right now.
Yeah.
Well, we 40 toes down. That's
We're calling it 40T. We're going to call it 40T. We started a new thing, 40T.
Look, we actually have people in right now. This is going to be a. Should we start the show now? Maybe? No, we've kind of bounced.
Let's
off
start the
walls.
show.
Let's do it.
With what?
Well, do we?
The high fives. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
gotta,
a good point.
gotta have high five.
Yeah, all the way around. We represent.
Birthday five right there.
We did cheers it, right?
we
Yeah,
did
we
cheers.
did cheers.
Okay.
We did cheers.
All right, we ready. Come
Cheers
on.
is big.
Come on with it. Spit it out. Let's go.
All right. Big question for you.
Yes.
Okay? Where do we start?
Do we jump in with the big five? I mean, or we want to get
No,
started?
I just want one. I'm
Oh, yeah, and then we can trickle in the
and then we can just
We can trickle in the others. Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. Where you stand, Bigfoot exists or fake?
Bigfoot, it could exist, it could not exist. We was always taught as kids.
No, man, we don't want philosophical.
Okay,
answers here, man.
Well, do I? I don't know, because I was always taught as a kid, touch, taste, smell.
Okay.
You can't touch it. You can't see it.
So that's a no. That's a no to me.
That
It's not a
sounds
no.
like a no.
I'm not a believer.
It's a theory. It's the same as are there aliens?
I've never seen it. I haven't tasted
That's
it.
one of the next questions. But
Okay.
we're tackling Sasquatch right now.
Exists.
Okay.
Hensley. Nikki Hensley
Nikki.
says
Exists.
exists. No,
Yeah.
Why?
she's just drumming it
I
up.
want to know
No.
why.
Why? That is.
Have you seen it? That's
No,
what I'm curious.
I have not seen it. I've seen footage, but you know people can play with internets and crop a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
Hey.
If they can make the Transformers look like they're taking down New York, they
Yes.
can make a hairy, blurry dude look like he's walking in Oklahoma.
correct.
The more we talk about it, the more I want to believe, but the less I do.
Only way we know we have to go
Yeah.
to one of the
Nikki-
sites and go camping and find out.
Nikki just said, "Why not?" You know, I mean, you're not out. Yeah, I mean, it's like, be it. Why are you a Detroit Lion fan? Why not?
Why not?
What else are you gonna do?
Why not? What else are you gonna do?
It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a good
cost you
point.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to be a fan.
Well, and Nikki's saying facts. What facts? I don't want. Well, you know, Mark McClurkin's in as well. So
McClurkin's in,
he's gonna throw-
and he is.
You know McClurkin.
Yes.
You know McClurkin hunts them.
He showed me the video and he showed me how they make the mold of the print of the foot and actually, I'm like, but archaeologists have not discovered it and they didn't found dinosaurs and they found everything else, but we still haven't found any manes or skeletons or nothing of a Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Not even one turd.
Thank you. And we got all these trackers in the world, but can't nobody find Bigfoot.
That's good.
But he always imagined to get clear.
Turd. I don't
Could you
wanna see
imagine
it.
that?
No,
Like
I don't want to see
a
it.
Nate log.
That's like okay.
You all have probably seen that, not me. No. I don't think I want to see that.
So that's like the Wizard of Oz. We know Dorothy
Yeah.
house got swept away to the Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
and she got slippers and all that.
She clicked.
But nobody never been to the Wizard of Oz. We never seen the Grand Wizard.
She was tripping.
Yeah,
Are you saying when he was tripping?
I think it was a nice dream that she had.
I think she was drinking that tequila.
Could have been. There's some
Yeah,
good stuff here.
I think she found some tequila.
it might have
Yeah.
you hallucinating and dreaming about those type of
Hey,
things.
it's happened.
Yeah.
Memphis, it's damn good to have you.
Thank y'all for inviting me because
It's-
y'all did put me on blast on Saturday, so I had to come up here.
Oh, for sure.
And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, I get thrown under the bus. And they was like,
Well, you know why? Because in this world, so many people spend so much of their energy trying to be unique.
correct.
But you are just you.
I can't be nothing else. I can't
That's
be
exactly.
fake.
I think there's value
can't-
to that.
I
I'm
can't
not
be
busting
fake.
balls here. I'm being for real. Memphis, I don't know what the fuck you're saying most of the time, but I love you. And when you're through and you talked about chaining up your dog to the barbecue or something the other day.
Right.
I didn't know what you said, and then you slowed down. But I knew we connected because I knew you wanted me to know what you were saying.
And it was not animal cruelty. It was my wife's turn to take the dog out. It's her dog. Bought it for a Christmas gift. So I'm like, you want to take the dog out? She's like, no. I'm like, well, I'm going to go to the shop. She said, well, you're not going to take the dog out? I said, I tell you what, I'm going to chain him to the barbecue grill. Whatever you feel like get out of bed, you can go walk him, but I'm out. And that's how the conversation came about.
Yeah. See? Makes sense.
Now,
right?
wouldn't you got Memphis representing Memphis,
Right?
the South? You're just thinking you're going to be walking in with a big ass dog, and you got this little white, little fluffy, little bitch dog.
What is
I
this?
was
A
thinking-
Pomeranian?
It's this big. It's a purse dog.
But it's my wife's dog. It's not my dog.
You don't have to chain it up. I mean,
Well, it's not
You can
chained
do
up
it.
like on a 50-foot chain. You got the little cord, then you know the little stretch out
Yeah.
cord that you get from Petco. So he
in my
got
mind,
room to run and
I was
play.
thinking pit bull. It's going to get, you know.
Why is it got to be a
running.
pit bull?
Because I have pit bull. and
No,
it's a
no.
big
You
dog.
have a cow that has pit
Looks
bull
like a
ears.
cow.
This
He's-
is the biggest thing I've ever
He's
seen.
half mastiff, but not as big as Lee's.
Okay.
Oh, Lee's got a
So
big
he's
one.
talking about dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
So you got a little Pomeranian.
Yeah, and I love him, but I hate him. It's sad to say because he would do stuff that he shouldn't do, and I think because he's a spoiled brat and
Sure.
she babies him all the time. And when I come in, he growls and he go in the cage. She like, you didn't traumatize my dog. No, your dog know I'm gonna get on because I know he done did something he had no business of
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
while I'm at work. And you sitting here and he's like, well, I got the house to myself. But he wants to be the alpha male.
Yeah.
There's only one. It's me.
Yeah.
You can't take my job. I'm the one that keep the lights on.
You know what? You want to impress me? Take the wheel.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me see you
Drive my
truck.
semi truck.
Yeah.
You
Take the
drive
wheel.
my semi truck and you pay all the bills.
Yeah.
Right.
So you drive 18 wheelers.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what is are your routes relatively close, or do you do cross country stuff?
I do a 100-mile radius of Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Did
I'm
you ever do
always-
long haul stuff?
I have done long haul before I moved here, and so it's sad to say, even though I'm from Memphis, if you leave here and you go from Memphis to Texas, and you look at our skyline and you look at Memphis skyline, but then when you come back in the daytime, it's like we got like this fog over Memphis, like a doom gloom. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, do I want to stay here, or do I go back where I grew up at? You know. So I'm like, babe, I think it's time for us to go. We gotta spread our wings. We can't fly no more. We done flew high, we can fly in Memphis. Let's spread our wings and go. Let's go home. And she was like, well, what do you mean go home? Well, I was raised in Mesquite, Texas, but I was born in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So I moved back to Memphis my junior high school year. So when I moved back, I was like, baby, let's go back. She's like, no, it ain't that time, it ain't that time. So when my daughter graduated, I'm like, it's now or never. And she's like, what do you mean? You got two options. I'm going to load the truck up and you go, or you going to find somewhere to go. Quite naturally, I'm the apple. She's like, hey, I'm riding with you. Let's ride this truck. And we've been
Good.
riding.
There you
And
go.
it's
There
been
you
nothing
go.
but, and I can say, since I've been here and going on the last 4 years, I networked with a lot of good guys here, and I done networked with a lot of people in the Metroplex. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had any negative, nothing. I have not been approached with any kind of racism, no slanders, no out of name calling, or nothing like that. Everybody treat me the way you guys treat me. You know, everybody show love. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like, the atmosphere and the love that people show me here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
think
So-
you get what you give, and you give 100% of who you are. You know,
Yeah.
and I think people get that and understand it. I
Right.
mean, you get unfiltered Memphis all the time.
Right.
And there's beauty to that.
And I'm talking etiquette tonight because we're doing a podcast.
Look,
but you know, I can get gangster and I can get gully.
Hey,
So-
that's why we're trying to get you drunk early.
Yeah.
That's why we tried to get you drinking early.
Okay, so hold on just a second.
Hang on.
I'm 60. I've never heard gully. Now I know what gully is like, down in a little gully. Is that what you're talking about? You don't want to get down in the gully?
When I say gully, I mean Grammy. I can get street talk and I can get education talk. I got both sides of the fence.
Okay.
But hang on a second, okay? You sound like you founded Memphis. What do you mean you grew up in Mesquite, Texas?
No. What I'm saying is, you got to remember, Memphis went through a recession back like in the early 80s.
Okay.
There was no jobs. Back then, you got to think our parents was making like $3.25 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Minimum wage was like $3.25, $3.75. My dad drove forklift. He wasn't making no money, so he worked for Rockwell International. The company folded. He had an option to come to Texas. He went to Houston with the job, but he said Houston was too fast. He didn't like it. So we had a cousin that lived here in Dallas in the Metroplex. And she said, before you go home, give Dallas a try. So he got hired at Backhoe International in the warehouse. He got hired, and they was like, you know more than majority of the people that we have working in the warehouse. We want to make you a supervisor. So they upgraded him. So when they upgraded him, my mom, she actually was working at Baptist Hospital on Union, the one that Elvis died at. She was doing janitorial service, right? So when she went to apply for Mesquite Hospital, one of the supervisors said, can you read, can you write, can you do this and that? She's like, yeah. So they grandfather in and they put her in the ICU. So you got my dad come from Memphis making $3 an hour. Then he goes in, come here making like $9 an hour. And he was educated in the warehouse because he knew warehousing, right? So my mom, she got grandfather in a nurse. They took her to the ICU. They trained her. So it was like the doors opened up and we started seeing
Opportunity.
all different types of opportunities. So it was like, man, where this come from? You know, you got to think we coming from a house that was 800 square feet to we living in an apartment that was 1,500 square feet. It was like, we like the rich kids on the block, you know? So I'm like, dude, my dad like, this your room, this your sister room. We got the Jack and Jill, and then their bedroom on the other side of the apartment. I'm like, this is an apartment, this is like a home. You know what I'm saying? So, and I never I never took it for granted when we moved here, and I took those values that my dad taught me, and it was like, hey man, you can be with all you can be what you want to be, and you know, and I was like, man, this is beautiful.
Well, you can see it in your work ethic when you come in. I mean, you've been driving all day, you've been driving all week,
right.
and you come in and you can feel how much weight you have on your shoulders.
Yeah,
I feel like you were raised right.
Right. And my mom and dad been together, married for 50 years. I'm 49. You know what I'm saying? And they still together today. And the love that they got, we call it black magic. You don't see that often. You know what I'm saying? I've been married for 19 years. You know what I'm saying? Been with the same person since high school. We've been together 27 years. I mean, 29 years. Take that
That's
back.
awesome.
Because if she watches, she gonna kill me. Really? You just went there? You don't know how long we've been together? So no, I'm correct.
Yeah.
29 years been together. Been married 19 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Got 2 kids. 22 and 27, and I'm a grandfather. But if you look at me, you don't think that. You
I
know?
wouldn't have thought. I didn't know that.
So hey, I've been blessed, man. So and I'm really blessed because I'm here with you guys, and y'all accepted me. And then look, I'm on a podcast.
Yeah.
Come on, think about it. Where I come
The
from.
entire internet.
I'll tell
is
you,
watching
if
this
you're
right now.
if you're out there
Right.
watching, ask Memphis a question, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
please
Come
do.
in, bring it
But
through.
I will say this is just as somebody that's been married for a while, and I've found that giving your wife an ultimatum doesn't always work. So hats off to you there for saying,
Get in
I'm
the
going to
truck."
load up the truck. It's the truck or find someplace else.
Hey, but it was
Congrats
not-
on that.
I was not trying to be disrespectful to my wife. I just saw a vision that she was not seeing.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at home and you're around your family, you're complacent. You're comfortable in
Yeah.
that zone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
All right.
get something else out here.
Yeah.
Hold it. So we do have a question. We have Evan Hurst is up in Missouri.
What's up,
He
Evan?
says, "Nice to meet you."
Okay.
We have, so why the Seahawks?
The
because-
Seahawks.
I'll tell you, hold it. One
What?
time, I about had to take Memphis out and whoop his legs down with a belt because this dude came in with Skittles, a handful, and threw Skittles in the lounge.
Because the running back was
Skittles.
known for Skittles.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So why this? Why Seahawks?
Well, I've been a Russell Wilson fan ever since college, and Russell puts up good numbers. And he's one of those guys he was the underdog.
Yeah.
You know, so nobody, they gave him a chance in Seattle, but then nobody just like,
Look, Dad.
oh, he's just another kid out of college. You know what I'm saying? But then he started putting up these numbers, and then he was showing that he can scramble. And if you look at him, I'm older, so a lot of people might not remember. He put you in the mind of Jim Plunkett back in the day. He was tough. No matter how hard Jim Plunkett got hit when he was with the Raiders, he got up like, hey, I'm gonna brush my shoulders off. Y'all ain't did nothing. I'm still here. And he's still here today.
Yep.
And he's still scrambling out the backfield. So when you get these new quarterbacks in and they tell me, oh, he hit me or he touched me. Come on, man, dude, this is a physical sport. This is what you signed that contract for.
Yeah.
They have definitely neutered football.
Right.
I watched a hit yesterday that it was really the quarterback's fault for not sliding on his back.
Oh,
and he got dinged in the head, and it's just like, you know, now I realize they're doing it for safety, but you go back to the Jim Plunkett days, you go back to Fran Tarkington with the Minnesota Vikings. That dude was scrambling his entire life because he had to. But he wasn't a big guy, but man, these guys would get popped.
Also, Pops, we don't want to disclosure, Warren Moon. Warren Moon scrambled for the Houston Oilers. So come on, man. Y'all, give the man his just due. He signed a nice contract. You know, I think it's this year or next year he's supposed to be a free agent. Seattle's not gonna let him go nowhere.
No,
They're not
no,
gonna
he's
let
too
him
good of a leader.
go. Nah,
Flunk it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to quickly go back to the Sasquatch conversation.
Yeah, let's go ahead and circle back.
We talked about we haven't found a pile of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, McClurkin had a big turd in his freezer for over a year.
Oh,
You
wow.
bring that turd up right now, and I'll tell you if it's.
Let's get it tested.
Let's get this turd tested. There's DNA in turds.
Right.
Memphis Redbirds fan. Are you a
Yes, I am a Redbird fan, and a lot of people don't know when the Cardinals do good and they win the World Series. All those guys come from AAA. They come out of Memphis, AutoZone Stadium, and that is where, if you go back and you check like the last 5 years, the Redbirds have been undefeated in AAA baseball.
Interesting.
Yes, I follow the Redbirds.
We had our own little AAA team in Omaha for the Kansas City Royals, the Omaha Royals, and we saw Bo Jackson and a lot of guys come through on their way up to the majors.
You're kidding me. That's where Bo Jackson went
Yep.
through?
He played 3 or 4 games with the before he got called up to the big leagues.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool as hell.
I'm not a huge baseball fan.
What do you mean, not a huge baseball fan?
I hate baseball. But
baseball is
because baseball needs contact. B, they need a shot clock. Because those pitchers will sit out there and tell stories and shit. It's too slow. It's way too slow.
Yeah.
But I did do an event, and I took some guys down to the Kansas City Royals, and we watched Bo Jackson hit his first major league homer, and it was like 525 feet. It almost went out on Interstate 70. This thing was just, when it was hit, it was gone. I mean, it was unbelievable, and it plugged out on the grass out by the interstate.
Bo knows.
It flew everything.
We got a lot of Bo love coming in here.
Yeah.
That's just one of the greatest athletes to ever live.
He is.
So,
No doubt about it.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
So now that Memphis State is no longer Memphis State, and I know y'all sports fan, and now we got Penny Hardaway, and it's considered as the University of Memphis. I don't consider it the University of Memphis. It's gonna always be Memphis State to me, because you got to think about it. We had Darren Kirk, Keith Lee, we had Lorenzen Wright.
I don't know any name you just said.
But I'm giving you Memphis.
Okay,
history.
okay, good.
Lorenzen Wright is actually the head coach right now.
Okay.
By the way, shout out to Penny.
He's watching. What's up, Penny?
So, hey, Penny's he's
What's
doing
up,
his thing, and a lot of people they've been giving him a hard time for like the last couple of weeks. But you got to think about it. He's teaching a bunch of high school kids the game that he loved to play. So my hat's off to Penny.
All right, so what's the question, Memphis?
The question, so how do you, the question is, thank you for the tequila. The question is, do you think we might be Final Four potential in the next 2 years? Do you think we're ready for the Final Four?
Memphis, what do you think?
I think we got a good opportunity with Penny back there. And we haven't been.
You know what? You're right. I agree. I think he's going to do it. What do you think? You think Penny will do it?
Yeah.
I thought I was rooting for the nickel, but I think the Penny defense is probably the way to go.
So think about it. Memphis hasn't been to the Final Four since Danny Kirk.
Reg coming in. Where you drank at? He too sober. Cheers. Cheers, Memphis. So glad you're here.
Yeah. So got a question. Bigotha's Garage. Art is asking, Pops, how's your finger?
It's healing up just fine. It was the cleanest cut in the history of cuts.
It was surgical for sure.
It was when they say the Le Fin Lame stainless steel is the same that's used on sushi blades, I now know how sushi feels. It doesn't feel shit.
Oh,
It went.
Did you
right
see
there.
that video I
yes,
posted?
I did. I came in Saturday and I told them,
That's
kids, that's why you don't play with knives.
No.
Prime example.
this
Now,
guy.
I was, in all fairness to me and my mental state, I'd taken some medication, and apparently the side effect is it pumps up your heart pressure or heart rate and all this stuff.
Sounds like
so.
fire.
I was literally,
Yeah.
I was wide awake for 33 hours.
Oh,
But so I went the whole night without any sleep, and then Brandon's like, "Hurry up! I got 40 seconds left. I got to cut the cigar. My brain is not. I don't have one at this point." And I slid through there. My brain didn't even register that I cut my finger, but I slid it a little bit to see how big that cut was, and she was a bleeder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite video of all of 2021.
That was-
little cut today.
He did the little cut of the.
Go check it out on our
If you haven't
Instagram.
seen the finger cut, it was. It was good.
Go
And
to
I think
Instagram.
the only thing that was better was watching Brandon's expression, because Brandon does not do blood at all.
So here's how I woke up with a 24-hour bug, and then Friday night Ale and I went on date night. We went to Union Bear.
Right.
And you know when you get that meal that doesn't sit right, you feel it when you lay down. You're like, I don't know if this is coming or going.
right.
And I woke up and still had that real gnarly stomach. And then Busy comes in with this coffee liqueur.
Right.
He's like, here, try this. So I try it. It's this creamy liqueur in the morning. I'm like, oh, God. And then I've got a 24-hour bug hitting me. And then he about lops his finger off. And I don't like blood.
Yeah.
But
It was a perfect storm.
It was the perfect storm.
It
I'm
was
just so glad I
definitely-
didn't throw up.
Speaking of almost throwing up, we went on this cruise last week.
Yep.
And we went to this thing that was called the testing, I think it was a tasting room. But it's a 2-star Michelin chef making food that you would never, it just got you reimagining food,
Yeah.
right? Well, the second one was
good.
a smoked egg yolk. They they brought it in this glass, and they pull it off, and there's all this smoke, and it's got this smoked egg yolk with peas and caviar and all kinds of shit, right? The look on my wife's face when she took a scoop of this egg yolk and that texture, she's just like, we're in this 5-star restaurant eating a 2-star Michelin chef food, and she is ready to blow all over the gal that's making all of the desserts. And she's just like, I mean, and she just kept tasting it, and it was just
Not good.
I was waiting for it. And that was the second course of 7.
Oh,
And it made it tough. But yeah, that was fun.
Memphis,
Yeah.
where you stand on aliens?
Is there other life forms? Yes, I do believe they're here. We're not the only one on this planet, because where are we getting all this technology from?
This planet?
See?
Where we
Do you think they're
technology?
here on the planet?
I'm
On this
convinced of
planet
that.
here,
I think they're among
you
us.
think about, we watch like Will Smith with the aliens, and then we get all the different aliens.
True story.
Like they showed you on Transformers, we getting all this technology.
True
Where we
story
getting
as
it from?
well.
Because although there are smart people in the world, but some stuff, I look at movies and I'm like, things that make you go, was that man-made, or was that come out of a lab and alien? They took some knowledge from him.
So you're saying Elon Musk and
Elon Musk,
he's an alien.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing: you think about it. When we was kids, Buck Rogers was out. Buck Rogers was way ahead of his time, just like the Jetson cartoons.
Yeah.
So you're like, where y'all getting all this knowledge from? You know. So
It definitely
is there
accelerated.
another life form on this earth? I believe there is.
So you think it's here?
It's here. It's been here. It's just now coming to light.
Like, or are you saying like War of the Worlds, where it's been here for thousands of years,
It's
maybe?
been here for thousands of years, and I'm thinking that it's here, and with the technology, the military got, and everything. Think about it now. They always talk about global warming. All right, I got friends that's retired in the military. Right, it's stuff that goes on in Area 51 that we're not allowed to know about until they want to expose it for us to get that knowledge.
Yeah.
And they said, well, there's not an Area 51. Well, if you go out to Area 51, there's a gate up, a fence, and you're not allowed to go.
Yeah, you go in there. There's going to
you
be
going to
military.
check.
Yeah.
So, hey, cause you don't have that pass to get in there. What are you doing? When I'm surveying, no, you don't need to be surveying now. You need to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you think they're here?
they're here. They've been here. It's just that
Do you think
we're
they're
not going to see it.
Do you
because
think
we
they're
don't want-
benevolent? You think they're friendly? You think they're
I
you think they're evil?
I think they could be evil and they could be friendly, but it's a give and take situation.
Don't watch the. You probably have never seen this movie because it goes back to, for some of you old folks out there, like Trader, Soylent Green,
No, I've never seen it.
old school, real old school. But basically, what they were doing was making this food called Soylent Green, and then they found out at the end it was humans. So maybe they're just
Come on,
maybe
now.
they're just letting the population get built up, let the technology evolve, all that stuff, so they can make a bigger meal out of all the people that are here.
What if the aliens control the technology to the point where all they do is they just kind of like what we do at terrorists, is we just make them into smaller groups, like wolves chase, and they single them out and they take them and boom, eat them.
Well, now there is now listen to this.
I thought of that one.
Not to
more about pay grade on that one.
but not to be conspiracy theorists, but if you watch,
No, let's go ahead.
there was in the 50s or 60s, there was a nuclear facility.
It's a great crack torch you got here too.
They had
That's not for crack.
they had a nuclear facility that it like started to execute a launch, and then there was all these lights outside, and then it shut down. So they were concerned. The ancient alien theorists think that the aliens don't want us to do mass destruction.
Right.
So if there was ever a badass nuclear launch, they think that the aliens are coming in.
That's what they say. They say around nuclear testing there are more sightings.
Okay. Remember, I don't think you was born. Greatest American Hero. You remember that TV show?
yeah.
Okay. The school teacher went out in the desert. Him and the FBI agent. The space shuttle came in, gave him the super suit. It gave him a book of instructions. But when they thought the United States, the world was in trouble, the alien came back and showed him how we did a mass destruction among ourselves. That's why he got the super suit, was to stop the nuclear and all the bad things that could happen on Earth.
I tell you, Damon, I agree.
Damon's
I think
in.
we'd be naive to believe that we're the only intelligent life in the entire universe. I agree.
What's
There's
the
something out
odds?
there bigger than us.
What's the odds?
Yeah. There has to be something.
There's something
Right? I
out
mean,
there.
there has to be something more than... Here, let me ask you this. Have you ever just had this weird thought where you're sitting and you're thinking about someone, and then all of a sudden,
They call you?
that person calls you
Yeah.
out of nowhere?
And I get it all the time. And my wife said, "You must got ESP." I said, "Why?" He said, I was just about to pick up the phone and call you, but then you called me." And I'm like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think you got ESP." It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's my instincts. And I call the house frequently to check on her, see what's going on, how they going, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not ESP. It's just I'm in the truck, I'm riding, and I'm bored sometimes, and I'm listening to the radio, and then I'm like, "Well, let me call and see what she got going on."
Okay.
You know, so.
Yeah.
Here's like the whole Area 51 thing. I think between this whole group, we could put together enough money to pay the fine if you will just take your semi and just bash the gate and just
No,
go in,
that's
see how
a-
far you get.
I'm
We'll
gonna
pay
put-
the fine.
Now, if we do that, I will have to have the speed right. I'm gonna put a brick on the gas and I'm diving out. Because I'm not gonna blow up that diesel. I'm gonna let the truck go up.
Somebody
And
call
I'm gonna
Sandra
walk in.
Scully.
And just see if they shoot the truck up.
Right, you shoot
If they
the
shoot
truck
the truck up, we won't have to pay the fine because
So-
they won't know what happened.
We done seen Van Diesel jump out a whole lot of vehicles. I'll probably be Van Diesel that day.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock, that shit. Speed.
Yeah.
This is...
Memphis would be fucking sliding on the road and then landing like a cactus.
Let me just say,
For sure.
in a moment of gratitude for all of you who are hanging with us, because every Tuesday we talk about aliens and Bigfoot, and everyone still hangs with us. I tell you what, we love you.
Okay,
Yeah.
question number 3.
Come on with it, spit it out.
I think with his background, I know where
Which
this is
were
going.
you?
Ghosts.
Number 3. Yeah.
Ghosts.
Oh, 3.
Do ghosts exist? And if so, have you ever had an experience?
I never had experience with ghosts, but I can tell y'all this, and it's no lie, put my hand on the Bible. The night before my grandmother passed, I told her, I said, "Grandma, I'm going home." She said, "Come give me a hug and a kiss." I said, "Okay." She said, "Because I won't be here tomorrow." And I said, "What do you mean you won't be here tomorrow?" She said, "You don't see these people in the room?" I said, "What people?"
no.
She said, "They're coming to get me. They're going to take me home." I didn't think nothing about it. I said, "Grandma, you tripping. Ain't nothing in this room." I'm like, I opened the closet up, threw a shoe in there. "You see any ghosts in there?" My sister, she's laughing.
So he leaves with one shoe.
Right, I'm like, if he ain't
If the
got-
shoe comes flying back out,
So,
I'm leaving.
My thing is, I threw the shoe in the closet because I'm like, if it's a ghost in there, he ain't comfortable because I just threw a shoe and hit him. Or he wouldn't do it. So my grandma was like, "No, baby, I'm serious. There's people here to come and get me. And if I'm lying, I'm dying." My sister can vouch for me. The next day, I go to work, my normal schedule. I get a phone call about 11 o'clock. This is my sister. She called, she screaming, she hollering on the phone. She said, "I can't wake up grandma." And I'm like, "What?" So I come back across the bridge. I go deliver to the UP Mary in Arkansas. I come back, pull up at the side of my mom's house, go in the bedroom, open the door. Grandma ice cold. I'm constantly like, "Grandma, get up, get up." And then I was like, she saw something that we didn't see.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But they said old people know when it's time for them to go home.
Yeah.
It was her time to go.
Yeah.
But
So-
we didn't take it serious because we was like, maybe she's hallucinating.
Was she sick?
No, my grandma was in physical health. Wasn't nothing wrong with it, but she was like, "Hey, these people here to come and get me. My time is up. My job is done here." And she left.
I do
Whoa.
believe that people
Whoa.
kind of control when the lights are going out because my grandmother, Nan, my mom was sitting by her bedside, she had been in the hospital for a while, and she went up and went in the bathroom, and she died when she went into the bathroom.
Ooh.
So it's like, I don't want to die in front of my kids type of thing, or whatever the case may be, but she waited till my mom left the room.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's
Whoa.
something that tells me that that they can control when
I think you can
turn
shut it
turn
off.
the power switch on.
Yeah, I agree. Damon
And
says I've had an experience.
Since we bringing that conversation up and having that topic, the spirits that they see before they leave, I always wonder, are those the people that's trapped in between? They don't know if they're gonna go to heaven or they're gonna go to hell, so they don't choose a side, but they stay here on earth because they don't know.
If they were coming to get her,
If they come to get us, she said they was coming to get us, but we don't know if it was demons or was it angels. You see what I'm saying? We don't know.
right?
We don't know.
So here's an interesting concept that my wife's father passed away before I could meet him.
Right.
Before my wife and I met. And she has a really interesting concept because he had multiple heart attacks.
Right.
This is just food for thought to think about, right? But her thought was he passed away eventually from a heart attack.
Right.
But her thought and her belief was that in that moment, in that wheelie point, in that vector point of making a choice,
Right.
you get to make the choice where you get to see what your life, what your kids' lives would be without you, or if you stay in there.
Right.
And you can say, come with us and there's no more pain.
Right.
And here's what your family looks like. And you get the choice to go, okay, I'm good to leave. I'm going to let my family go.
That's a good topic.
It's very interesting.
That's a good topic. That's a very good topic. Because my mom always tell us, if I die tomorrow, you and your sister, it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? And since he mentioned that, it's like, do my mom know something that I don't know? You know what I'm saying? Because she's like, y'all be okay without me. Y'all gonna make it. But she always tell us, give me my flower while I'm living. Don't wait till I'm dead to give me my flowers. So my mom knows something that I don't know. She's older than me.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I'm like,
Listen to this. Listen to Damon.
Yeah.
Damon said, my grandma died literally the day after her whole family left town after her husband's funeral. Somehow I knew it wouldn't happen when I said goodbye that last day. She,
Almost the same scenarios.
same scenario, just decided.
and let me give y'all a prime example. If you think about it, majority of the couples that been together for 50 years or more, have you ever noticed if the male leave, it's like 6 months to a year,
Yeah.
the man leave? That freaks me out. You know what I'm saying? It's like that person can't go on because it's like they was joined at the hip even though they wasn't joined at the hip. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you wonder, like, well, she just passed 6 months to a year ago and now he's gone. It's like, I'm not gonna say they gave up, but it's like, is it a doorway that opens and they were like, I can't do this without you. Come on with me. It's a better way.
Well, look at it. I mean, look at it this way. If we're all chasing what our purpose is, right? To make your kids a better person than you are, you go through that. But if you see a point where your purpose is gone, your kids are good, they're set up, your wife has passed, what else am I going to do? Maybe at that point, you lose the fuel.
Yeah.
That's
Trader's heading for the bed. We'll see you, buddy.
Yeah, buenas
So
noches.
glad that you were here.
There's Jim.
They were together
Merry Christmas,
65
brother.
years and passed within 3 weeks.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow. Unbelievable. I didn't expect the conversation to go this direction here, Memphis. To be honest.
Deep.
We're getting into some deep thoughts tonight.
Yeah.
We're getting into some deep thoughts. And it's cool. And I'm an education guy type of guy. I ain't gonna say I got the highest education, but I do think logic. You know, there's more than life than meets itself. We just a fish in a big pond, swimming our way through. That's all we doing. That's all we doing.
Let me ask all of you this. Do you think life and fate is on rails? Meaning you're going to go one direction the way you're supposed to go? Or do you think it floats where you can decide the left and right? Do you think fate is predetermined? Are you a passenger? Or do you get to choose your path?
I think we're passengers.
You think it's on rails?
It's on rails. Because we don't know what's on the other side till we get there. So can no man in this room predict the future? What tomorrow gonna bring? And I think that's why the old people always used to say, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that rail.
Think so.
Yeah. It's up to you to choose the right rail to get on. Do you want to go to the east rail or do you want to go on the west rail?
But you can choose the rail that you go
You can
on.
choose. But what if you choose the wrong rail? Then what? You might never see that person again.
Pops, what do you think?
You know, it's interesting to hear about people that, you know, you got to have your diet right, you got to exercise, you got to do this stuff, and they drop dead of a heart attack at 50.
Yep.
And then you got somebody that lives to 90 and smoke 20 cigars a day, like that veteran that lived to 112 years old
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
that smoked cigars and drank
He was
whiskey
from
all day
Memphis,
long.
right? Was he a Memphis guy?
No, I think he's from Mississippi.
Mississippi,
He's from
okay.
Mississippi.
But-
and Red sent me that video. And when he sent me the video and I looked at it and I called him after I watched it, I said, hey, I got a situation. He said, what? I said, dude, I don't think we smoking enough cigars.
But, you know,
I don't think we smoking enough cigars.
So I have this thought that, and there's some thought, is there, and maybe this is one of the questions we add to our top 5, is there life after death, or are you returned? But I think that if you earn your spot in heaven by doing things the right way, by leading a life of character, then I think when you go to the right place, you earn your spot. If you didn't, you come back, or you stay in this area.
You get
Right.
you try
And-
it.
The area I spoke
Try
of,
again.
You're in the
Purgatory.
we would say the friend zone. You're in the friend zone because you lost. You don't know where to go.
Yeah, because if you listen to these ghost experts,
Right.
they're obviously seeing somebody that didn't go.
Right.
They're stuck here,
They stuck.
and they'll talk about how, like in these old houses in Memphis or
New
Orleans, a
Right,
place like
right,
that,
right.
where people are just walking the same stair step. They keep staying the same person in the same stairwell, and they're just in a loop. You know, and just think what would happen if you were just if you made the wrong choices, and all of a sudden your penance is to come back and just relive this murder or relive this stuff. But I don't know. I just think you got your best chance if you lead the right life and you don't hurt others.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the middle. I don't know if life is predetermined. I like to think that we make choices, but again, all those choices predetermined.
It's interesting
I know,
because
yeah.
That's interesting.
yeah, it's something that is. I think you can choose the left and rights, but I think you're on a rail because you are really ultimately you are a product of your environment. You are what you choose, which is guys who are stuck in bad situations. They're just surrounded by it. But it was interesting because I was just faced with this the other day. When I graduated college, I was going to move to Denver in the mountains, and that's where I wanted to go.
Correct.
But then this opportunity came that I decided I'm going to try it. I met Ale. It ended up being so I got to live this.
Yeah.
Right.
And I spoke with the guy the other day, and I said, what would you change in your life? And he said, I wouldn't have moved away because I didn't get to spend time with my dad. And he started crying. I mean, this is a 65-year-old guy.
Right.
And he started crying, and I went, I chose the right thing.
Right.
In that moment, I didn't know what was down the track,
Right.
but I chose the right track. And then you just kind of run.
But doesn't that speak to if you raise your kids with respect and you raise your kids right, they're not in a hurry to leave.
Right.
But how many parents and how many kids do you know that I'm 18, I'm out. They can't get away from that unit fast enough.
And you're correct.
But there's I mean, I can go back and look at 40 years of where my path is and how this got me to this stone and this stone and this stone and this stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still the same, work ethic and morals and all that stuff. But when you look at this step, that path went off in a direction that you couldn't have sat in college and went, I'm going to be this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
right.
because this isn't where you end up.
Right.
And you just have to have the desire and the willingness and logic
Right.
to just take those steps and see where it takes you. And and you just hope with age you make fewer mistakes.
Right.
You know, and you just stay on a tighter line.
But you just make newer mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make new mistakes.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's okay.
Right? There are a lot of mistakes we haven't made yet.
I made a lot of them.
And that's, you know, and I've seen situations where people that I work with, they were young and they ended up getting into a position maybe because of who they knew, but their success was slowed down because they didn't get into some of these areas to make mistakes.
Right.
Ah.
You gotta make
That's-
those mistakes.
It's a great question. So let me ask another kind of big question on that.
Yeah.
And this is slightly selfish on my point, but I respect everyone at the table. It's what do you identify as success? How do you describe success? Memphis, what is success to you?
Success for me is more, as a father, I feel like I was obligated to my kids and my wife to make sure they were financially stable and able. So even though they're gone from the nest, but like my mom used to tell me, the doors to this, you come in my back door, it's always open. If you fall down, you got to come back home and start over and regroup, right? The door's open. But don't come back home and regroup and think you're getting over. All right, so I left home in '94. I haven't been back in the door since. You know what I'm saying? But it's not because I can't go home. It's just like I got the mindset I don't want to go back home because if I feel like if I go back home, I feel like I failed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I let my kids down. I let my wife down. I don't want that on me.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I always tell my wife this. I'm one of them people that you can say, you can't do this. I'm gonna prove you wrong. You know why? Because I'm gonna figure out how to beat you because you said I couldn't do this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a hell of a
I'm gonna
motivator.
figure out a way to make this work.
Yeah.
It might be the wrong decision in your eyesight, but it's the right decision in my eyesight.
Yeah.
So, as my father always would say, the good got to suffer with the bad. Sometimes we got to take a loss to get ahead where we need to be. You see what I'm saying? I took a lot of losses out here in the world, but guess what? It never stopped me from fighting to get where I wanted to be. Yeah. So if I fight and I don't give up, it's just like the Rocky movie. Rocky never gave up. And I had that mindset like Rock. I don't want to give up. If I give up, I feel like I let them down.
Yep.
So I don't never want to let my wife down. I don't ever want to let my kids down. Y'all might not know, it's been some days I've been out here, I might got $10 in my bank account, but guess what? My family is good. So guess what? I felt like my job and what is a man, I took care of my business for my family to succeed.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I can't tell my kids to go this way, and I can't tell my kids to go that way. They gotta figure that out on their own, like how I figured it out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you gotta push yourself every day. If you don't push yourself, then why are you here? If you're not making no kind of progress or no kind of advancement in your life, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just holding up space. I don't want to hold space. I want to succeed at everything that I do. Whether it's a bad mistake at that time or it's a good mistake, I just want to prosper. And my kids can learn from me. It's like, Dad almost didn't do the things that we wanted the way he do it, but he did it to the best of his knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel.
What about you, Aid? What do you consider success? How do you define success?
To me, it's having a healthy and happy relationship with your family, your spouse. It's not necessarily financial or what kind of vehicles or what your house is. I think that's just an added benefit to the underlying happiness and success that you have in your life.
Yeah. We want to hear from you guys too.
Yeah.
I'll throw in my nickel's worth. Success isn't wealth.
No.
Success, wealth from a financial perspective. But I always say that my wealth and my net worth is the result of my family.
Yeah.
My family is what it is. The boys are who they are. My relationship with Begley is what it is because And that is how I define wealth. If I have $1 or I have $1 million, it doesn't matter as long as I have that.
Yeah.
Nothing else at that point matters. And you know, if you take care of things and you do things right, the money takes care of itself.
Yeah.
It's like the cigar lounge in and of itself. You take care of your customers, you never have to worry about sales for one day in your life.
Yeah.
Because it just takes care of itself. So to me, wealth is family, and wealth has nothing to do with money. And some people, when their focus is money, how many people have you seen in over your years where the kids are an inconvenience because it's getting in the way of their career?
Yeah.
They don't have 3 cars, they only have 2 cars, they only belong to one country club. All of the things that they think will tell the world that they're successful, and then they got 3 kids that are little shits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And the relationship is not.
It's not
happy,
good.
It's not healthy, and yeah, they're always
It's not,
complaining
no.
about the kids or the spouse, and
Yeah, success, Damon is saying success to me is hearing
what
my
he
son
said
laugh.
was a good point and a good value. Every morning before my daughter goes to work, she calls me on her way to work. My son will call. I bring him in on the 3-way. He called me on his way to work.
Nice.
And we talk every morning. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's just a bond that we have. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And if they don't go to work and they don't call me, then on my mind, I'm like, why you didn't call me then before you went to work? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
Did the car didn't work? Or you need some money for gas? Or something like that? Right. I'm going to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel like you got, like my daddy said, any food can make a baby, but it takes a man to stay there and raise it.
That's right.
So I feel like I'm a man first
Yeah.
before I'm a fool. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, yeah.
and that's not knowledge that I'm giving y'all. That's just game.
Yeah.
That's straight up game. That's what we call it in the hood. It's game. If you don't have some kind of structure in your life, and your kids don't have no kind of structure,
Yeah.
they're gonna be running wild. And it gives off an example of you
Oh,
that you
yeah.
didn't do what you need to do.
Is there, so let's say Memphis, and you talked about this is the way we talked about in the hood and shit like that. I grew up in the hood, by the way.
Right.
But the thing is, we have so many people out, so many young men out today doing stuff that you know that their father wouldn't approve of, but what percentage of them didn't have a father in their life to point them in the right direction? Do you think it's a really high percentage?
I say it's 70-30.
Okay.
All right, and the reason why I say 70-30, because I put it like this. A lot of kids nowadays, it's not that they don't know. It's not that a lot of them don't care. But the thing is, when we took pledge allegiance to the flag,
Yep.
we took prayer out of school,
Yeah.
we took religion and just went, oh, well, we can't talk about this in school or religion. That was wrong. They should have never took it out, because every morning when we walked in that school and we started out this, we would have to stand up and say a pledge to allegiance to the flag.
Yeah.
We said prayer over our meals every day, lunch, breakfast, and dinner. So when you take that out, you destroy the culture of white American, black American, Hispanic American, Asian, Indian, because that grounded us.
Yeah.
That made us the people
Yeah.
that we were. When you start saying, well, that's too political. No, that's not political. You need that type of structure in
Well,
your life.
it's more so just from straight out respect.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You don't to each their own, right? Religion,
right.
choose any religion or none. But if you have something bigger than yourself, be it a parent or a God or whatever it is that you believe in,
Yeah.
if you all understand that there's something bigger than yourself, you live bigger than yourself,
Right.
right? I think that's extremely important.
Right.
I think respect is such a big deal. Respect.
huge
Above
for me.
all
I
else.
you know, it's and
Yeah.
you're either wired with it or you're not wired with it. I was thinking about it the other day. Again, we were on our cruise. I go to this beach, and I made a point because I was going to smoke cigars. I made a point of going all the way to the end to the left because I wanted to respect everybody else's enjoyment, and they may not enjoy the cigar smell. So I made sure I went all the way to the end and watched which direction the wind was blowing, all that stuff. And one couple came in, there was only 2 seats next to me, and they came in and I'm smoking my cigar. Nobody else within 100 feet of me,
Correct.
and they smelled my cigar. They're like, "Jeez."
He's serious.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought I came as far to the left as I
Right,
could.
right.
I didn't want to offend. But there's a lot of people that don't care.
No.
Yeah.
They
They
don't.
just, it is what it is, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And I think respect has been lost
Yes, it has
to
been
us.
lost.
And
Oh, yeah.
Respect has been lost, and also the religion has been lost. It's been lost because if you think about the Bible was here back, 1800s, right? But why every 5 years we got a New Testament? You're changing the laws of the land and you're changing the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Why? For what? Why are you changing? You cannot change what God has already inscripted.
Yeah, I think.
Why
it's
would you
different
want to change that?
interpretation? I think
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
And it's just with times the way they are. I wouldn't read it, but I wonder what it's going to be like this year, next year, right? The New Testament comes out, and based on the interpretation of how life is right now,
Right.
yeah, it's
So
weird.
so when I came up, it was the King James version of the Bible.
Mhm.
We can go to any library right now, and I'm pretty sure we will not find a King James version of that Bible.
Yeah, probably.
It's gone. It's obsolete.
If there's a library.
If we got a library, it's gonna be a New Testament.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be the King James version. You know what I'm saying? My grandma used to have the big white King James version with the gold writing on it and all that. So you like, where's that Bible? You know what I'm saying? You throwing away history that shouldn't be thrown away.
Yeah.
That we need to know.
they're rewriting history
rewrite
to
history.
fit. And it's,
Yeah,
you're right.
exactly.
And Reg brings up, uses a key term here because he says loyalty and respect. And I think
Yeah.
from my career and some of that stuff Brandon knows, I've been loyal sometimes to a fault, but I'm okay. If I'm loyal, I've been loyal to employers. I've been loyal to people that if it comes back to bite me in the ass, I was still loyal.
Right. Right.
And I think loyalty is lost because your kids should be loyal to your family.
Yeah.
You should be loyal to your family.
Yeah.
And so loyalty is a key word. I'm glad you brought that up, Reg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Because I remember when I was younger, if I did something wrong, Dave would whoop me. When I got home, I got another whooping.
Yeah.
Now you touch a kid, oh, that's assault.
Calling 911.
I'm down 911.
Yeah.
You abuse me. Abuse you? Look what you just did down the road. You asked for that.
It's different times.
Yeah.
It
it's
is.
different times.
It's 1968, 69. I was in second, third grade. Omaha Public Schools. If you screwed up, they would get the 3 or 4 kids that were messing around, and you went out in the hall, faced the lockers, and the teacher came out with a paddle
Yes.
and whooped your ass.
You got an ass whooping. That's
Really-
correct.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
it's
cool
an
that-
Omaha Public
Oh,
School.
Yeah,
Yeah, it wouldn't
reinstitute
fly.
that. It wouldn't fly, but the kids
No.
would be a lot more respectful.
Yeah.
I'll tell
think
you
it-
what,
I
you
think it
became
comes
real
down-
respectful. You only had to
Oh,
do
yeah.
you only had to take one lap
Yeah,
around
sure,
that
yeah.
track.
Yeah.
It's but if you look at it, because now I've got kids that are in school. Now I really enjoy the teachers that my kids are with because they're young, but you trusted that the teachers were teaching them
And they were gonna make the right
values,
decision.
respect,
Right.
everything, right?
Right.
Now you don't necessarily feel that same level of trust, so it's a little bit different. It's like, do I want somebody who I don't agree with,
Yeah.
to teach their lessons?
Some hippie teacher that thinks what we think is normal and respectful.
Right.
To them, it's not.
Yeah.
Right. So it's definitely different.
I
But I
remember-
think just the element of being able to. Now I'm the middle phase, right? Because
Right.
I didn't see nuns whooping kids, right?
Right.
But this element of being able to change and really, lead where we're going. Try to pay attention because the only constant is change, and the way the world is changing is rapid
Yep.
and interesting. But you just got to be the change that you want to see in the world, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's
I'll never forget sitting with first grade, the twins teacher in parent-teacher conferences, and she's like, I'm a little concerned because they're tracking behind the other kids in reading and math. I said, are they respectful?
Yeah.
Oh, they're the most respectable kids in the class. They always help out. They always just.
That's
We
all
can
that
teach
matters.
them to read and write.
Yeah.
I just want to know if they're. I don't want them to be little assholes.
Yeah.
Are they respectful? Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So I was okay with that. They just learned how to read and write like 2-3 years ago. They're 30, so they're dumb as a bag of hair. But I love them and they're respectful.
Yeah.
They're respectful little dumb
Yeah.
shits.
And that's all you ask as a father, for them to be respectful.
Yep.
As long as they're respectful and they not violating your space, putting your life in jeopardy, their life in jeopardy, and they're respectful, then you gotta respect them.
Think about some of the horrible stories that have happened where the kid has just broken away from the pack and is doing all the things that his parent doesn't want him to do, and they bring that shit home, and then the trouble comes to the house, and everybody ends up getting hurt.
Right.
There's some terrible things that are going on.
And you know what all that come from? That all stimulates from you're not even putting time in with your kids. You looking at the fame, the glory, and the money. The money's there.
Yeah, if you buy a kid an Xbox, he's still not gonna. Doesn't make him a good kid.
And it's not gonna make them go outside.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
When we was little, we had to go outside.
Yep.
And I never forget, when I was little, my grandma used to tell us, look, I got a cooler on the front porch. You want some water? You're a boy, you go outside and pee. You're a girl, come in the house. Little boys don't need to see you squat and taking a pee. But the thing is, you knew when you went outside, if you came back in, you was not going back out for the rest of the day. So we don't force our kids to go outside
Yeah.
now. It's like they in this cocoon, so they don't want to come outside.
Yeah.
But when we came out, that's how we grew up. You got to go outside and network with people. If you don't network, how you gonna know
It's
where you at?
it's so I
Yeah.
saw a picture the other day. It was an old school picture, and there were 6 bicycles laying in the front yard, and it said, "This is how we knew we didn't need social media to tell us where our kids were. You
Right.
just look out in the front yard. There's 6 bikes out in the front yard.
Yeah.
You knew where everybody was.
Yeah. And when the street light came on, we
You
knew
go
it was
inside.
time out.
Yep.
We didn't
Street light.
The
And
street
don't let
lights
it
are
catch
on.
you.
Or
Don't let
like
it
me,
catch you.
you're the whistle.
Right.
That was
Really?
Right.
The whistle.
Yeah.
So when the
No,
street
it's
light
streetlights.
came on,
Yeah.
you knew to come in the house. But if you was not there when that street light come on, you already know for the next 2 days you're not going outside. You in your bedroom window, you looking out outside like, damn, why did they bring my ass down? Your mom like, you close that window, you ain't going out today. So you like, damn, I ain't gonna do that no more.
And earlier you said one word that is very important. You said porch. And houses don't make porches nowadays
Yeah.
anymore.
Right?
No.
So people used to hang out on the porch, say hi.
Everybody, I didn't mean to
Not
cut you off,
anymore.
but everybody in that neighborhood knew where you lived.
Yeah.
They knew if you did something wrong, the
They
kid
knew
knew
your
they did
parents.
something wrong. They knew your parents. They would call your parents and say, hey, your son acting up. But I'm gonna tighten him up.
I'll give you
I'm gonna
permission.
tighten him up.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna send him on back down your way. And he gonna get tightened up again.
Yeah.
And guess what? We ain't gonna have that problem no more.
It never happened again. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen now.
No.
The parent is going to get in their car and go down and rip into the other parent's ass.
Yeah. With cell phone in hand, recording.
Yeah,
Facebook
exactly.
Live or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, they need something for Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got one last important question. When you go to a restaurant and you order a steak, how do you order it?
I ordered mine's medium. Not medium rare, not medium done.
No blood.
I want it pink on the inside. If it ain't pink, I'm gonna send it back. And
Yeah.
my wife will tell you, you are a ticket. No, because I just told her when she took the order, tell the chef I need it pink on the side. I don't want blood running across my plate.
Yeah.
I want to be able to cut my steak with a butter knife. If I got to,
Yeah.
this is not done. Send it back. Well, you don't think they're gonna kick your meat across the floor? I'm not worried about that. If that meat don't come out right, I'm sending it back.
As
Because
you
that is
should.
not right.
There's no way to
As you
pick
should.
that up.
I'm a blood guy.
Right.
More blood, the better. Yeah.
That's your
We,
Yeah.
That's
Well-
your preference, but I'm not a
Yeah.
blood guy. I'm not a vampire.
well, we had heard on the cruise that the only restaurant you could get into was called the Razzle Dazzle. Well, we found out why, because it's vegan, and the menu had like cauliflower steak and shit like that. What the fuck? So anyway, this gal says no, there's an off the menu secret deal. So I go in and she comes over to take our order and she goes, "Okay, sir, what would you like?" And I said, "I want something that had parents." She goes, I got it. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell
so
anybody.
She, how do you want it? I said medium rare. She said, okay, great. So she brought me a steak, and it was the best meal I had on the boat. But I make sure I want something that was eating that shit for dinner.
Why is that a
And-
secret menu though? Not everyone is vegan.
No.
Well, but this was sold as a vegan restaurant.
So you're going into it.
It was the only place we could get into, and I
Yeah.
thought, well, I'm gonna go off the rails here. I want something with parents. She started laughing. She got me a steak.
So,
Yeah.
with that, Memphis, thank you for being here.
All right, anytime. Anytime you guys want me to come back, hey.
Oh, you're going to be back.
Oh, you'll be back.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and I thank you guys. And hey, this was a beautiful experience. I've never been to a live podcast, and I enjoyed myself. And I thank you. Hats off.
You did Memphis well.
Hey, I'm
Cheers to
representing.
you. Cheers.
All right,
Cheers.
I'm representing Memphis.
There you go, Memphis.
Go Grizz. Go Grizz.
So with that, everybody have a very Merry Christmas. We're allowed to say that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, but
And
we're going to say it.
And a very happy New Year. We're going to say
Very
that too.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Guys, have a great Christmas. We're going to, for those of us that are suffering in Dallas, we're going to have to put up with 83 degrees this week.
This is where I want to be for Christmas, but I got to go home. But it's still saying it's going to be 73, 76, so hey.
We'll be all right.
But if I was here, I'll be put some steaks on the grill and we'll go at it.
Hey, untie the
We'll
dog
see how
because we
you-
don't want the dog to get in the grill.
The dog's not on the grill anymore. The dog's out for that one day. Because I didn't feel like walking him. So don't make it like the dog had, he was abusing it, because I don't need animal rights actors calling me, saying, you hook your dog
You're
up to
off.
a grill, really?
That was one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, it was great.
It was deep. We've never gotten that deep.
That got real deep, didn't it?
Man,
That got
That's
serious.
Yeah.
Hey, I
For-
love,
for
I,
a
I
good
love, I
30
love the
minutes,
whole
they got
ambiance,
serious.
and I appreciate you guys.
91 comments.
Hey, man, we did good. I think we did good on that podcast.
What's our viewer count?
It didn't have a view count.
Hey, dude, I enjoyed this, dude. Hey, I can do this all the time. You let me know in advance
Oh, you'll be back.
so I can clear my schedule. Hey, I'm coming.
We got deep.
We
for
need to do
good chunk there.
an all-star show. Like
So just-
Memphis, Trader, McClurkin.
Holy shit.
So we had
We're gonna have to move the camera back a little bit.
just picture this, right? Where our lounge on a full event,
Oh yeah.
it holds 96 people on a
Okay.
full event, right?
Right.
Whole building. We had 223 people.
That's damn good. That's damn good.
That's
not
this
good.
entire building full of people watching us smoke a cigar.
10% women.
It's okay.
Sorry.
They're coming around. They'll come around.
Yeah, we need to bump that.
So on the next podcast, so we talking about women. You know, I got a wife in Memphis, and
Yeah.
she speaks from the hip.
Oh yeah, I'm for it.
Hey, you.